and welcome to Rasha Rogers, a YouTube channel where we take topics in the news, celebrity or otherwise, and we discuss them through various views. So the topic I would like to talk about today is that of the Usher-Chris concert. So I was in attendance and I did have a good time, other than the heat and those flamethrowers that was just making it more hot. I had a good time. Oh yeah, and those gunshot sounds that they kept doing, like in the beginning, like the first couple songs, they were making gunshot sounds. It was within the rhythm of the music, you know what I'm saying? It went along with the music, but it was just way too loud. It sounded exactly like gunfire. I was afraid somebody with PSTD was gonna click out, and then I'm gonna have to take off running, okay? And also, if as hot as it was, because it was in a stadium and the stadium is not covered. Now, thank the good Lord, he did bless us with some clouds. So we had a nice little overcast. So that way the sun was just not beaming and blaring on us. But at the same time, it was still hot, and those flamethrowers was not helping any. I mean, if anything, they should have been throwing up some ice water out into the crowd, right? But other than those two things, I had a good time. Now, during the part of the concert, when they bring the ladies up, you know what I'm saying? Chris Brown, he made an announcement. He was like, okay, y'all, this is the part of the show where we about to get freaky. Ladies, if you come up here, no, he said, if you have a man or a husband, don't come up on the stage. He said that. He said, don't come up here if you got a man, a husband, etc. And I thought that was good that he did that. And I'm thinking to myself, he must be tired of getting blamed for ending relationships. And so with him making that disclaimer, look, lady, if you come up here and your man leave you because I took you to Pound Town, that's on you, okay? Don't blame me, because I told you I don't want nobody up here with a man or a husband, okay? So that's between you and your man. Y'all deal with that. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You feel me? I've relinquished all responsibilities, okay? Because I told you. So, anywho, he made his disclaimer, and Usher went first. So his girl, she went up there, and, you know, she sat down on the bed and everything. And, you know, she was just kind of just sitting, you know what I mean? Which was fine. And so he's, you know, humming, singing, whatever. And then he comes sit down next to her, and she just kind of like, oh my gosh, you know? And then he, you know, kind of rubs her leg, like trying to engage her. You feel me? That's how I took it. Like, okay, he trying to engage her, see, you know, warm her up a little bit. And she still was just like, oh. And then he stood up, got in front of her face, you know, got real close, like he was going to lean in for a kiss. And then, you know, she leaned back, then he leaned back, and she leaned back. Then finally, he was just like, read the room. Like my friend who was with me, she said he read the room, which is exactly what he did. Okay, y'all, she ain't with it. You know what I'm saying? Show's over, basically, because it ended. You feel me? Like I said, he didn't finish the set, didn't finish the song, and it was very short, okay? It didn't last long at all. So I was a little upset about that. You feel me? Because we paid good money for these tickets. We want to see the show as the show is supposed to go, and you done messed it up because of, I don't know, you just wasn't with the program, right? So, a lot of people got upset with her. The next day, started seeing all these posts on social media, you know, everybody, you know, on both sides of the fence, some for, some against. Now, the people that was for, they were saying, oh, she was being a lady, she was respecting herself, she got a man, right? She did the right thing. And that's all well and fine. But what I'm saying is, if that was the case, you should have never went up there. Because that segment was not the segment for somebody that's trying to be respectful of their husbands and their families. I'm just saying, you feel what I'm saying? Respectfully, you feel me? It's entertainment at the end of the day, but it is a particular type of entertainment that can bleed over into your personal life if you are in a relationship. So if that's what you worried about, then you should have never accepted it. So then another friend of mine was saying how, well, you know, she was probably caught up in the moment. You know, they upgraded her to VIP. You know, then they asked you to be on stage. Anybody would do that. Anybody would get caught up in a moment. And yes, I do agree. But in this particular situation, she knew what the assignment was. She knew what the expectations were. And I don't care what nobody says. You are not going to make me believe that this girl did not know what the requirements were of whomever got up on that stage with, Usher and or Chris Brown. Because at this point in the tour, we've all seen it circulating on social media about this particular segment. So if you are a fan of any level, you have seen or heard about what happens. So if you knew you wasn't going to be with it, you should have never went. And that's what I say to that point. So then she came out and she was like, well, I wanted Chris Brown. And I was like, oh, okay. So it wasn't because you was a lady and you wanted to respect your man and your family. It was because it was the wrong man, right? And side note, gentlemen, if a female wants you, you ain't gotta have nothing, truth be told. You ain't gotta have no money. You ain't gotta have no card. Hell, you can be living with your mama. If that woman wants you for real, she gonna give it up, okay? And she gonna be right there with you in your mama basement, okay? Cause she wants you for real. So a lot of times these men just be getting with girls that really don't like them like that. You feel me? And that's why they trying to take your money and trying to finesse you, cause they really don't like you. Get a girl that like you for real, and she gonna do what she gotta do in order to make it happen, okay? So back to the concert. So then people were, so like I said, she said that she wanted Chris Brown, and I'm like, okay, so if it was Chris Brown, she would have laid it low and busted wide. But since it wasn't, she did not. So that argument about her trying to be a lady and be respectful, that argument is out the window, because she done already said, I want Chris Brown. So there you go. So it was in her. It just wasn't the right man, okay? Now, I will also say somebody was saying that, well, his wife was in the audience and maybe she was concerned about his wife. Look, this is Usher's job. He is at work. That wife knows what kind of work that man does. And half of his job is to be sexy, right? And to give the illusion of availability, okay? So, wife, if you don't like that type of thing, then you married the wrong man. So at that point in time, the young lady that was on the stage, if she was thinking about, oh my gosh, his wife is in the audience, that wasn't the time to be thinking about his wife. I'm being respectful about it. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not saying just forget his wife. But what I'm saying, his wife ain't got nothing to do with that segment and that show at that time. You see what I'm saying? Because Usher is at work and he's doing a job. Now, if you wanted to go and help him fulfill his duties for that day, then that's just what it is. His wife just gonna have to deal with it, right? So I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, she was worried about his wife. Honey, his wife know what the deal is, okay? And if she don't like it, she need to go marry somebody, divorce him and marry somebody else, okay? Let me see. I got some notes right here. I'm trying to make sure I don't forget nothing. So, yeah, 2 points that I think everybody could take from this in order to kind of, carry this into a lesson to carry into your real everyday life. Ladies, if a man takes you on a date and then he's like, come back to my room, back to my place. If you are not ready to give it up, don't go, okay? Don't go. That's kind of what that girl did with Usher. She went back to the room and then was like, why did you even go? Especially when you knew what the expectations were, okay? So if a man takes you out and y'all chilling and then he be like, come to the room, come on now. You know what's expected. You know what I mean? There's a possibility that it may not happen, but there's a strong possibility that it will. So if you are not willing to lay it low and bust it wide, you don't need to go back to that man's place after the date. So that's the lesson for the females. For the males, like my friend was saying, he read the room. he could tell by her body language and the energy she was giving that she wasn't with it. And so instead of him trying to, force himself on her or strongly, come on, encourage her, trying to encourage her, he was just like, look, go ahead and go. Just go ahead and leave. You ain't with it. Just go ahead and leave. And that's what men need to do, just like in real life. And men and young men, if you with a girl and you want to take it there and you see that she's not comfortable or, she's not really giving you that energy of, yeah, let's go, just stop and leave, or she can leave. You feel what I mean? Because it's really not worth it at the end of the day. So let me see. I think that is all I want to talk about. Oh yeah. So she kind of ruined the experience for other people because a lot of people probably went there just for that segment of the concert because you just see it so much on social media. Some people, that may have been like their whole, reason for even going. Oh, I can't wait to see that part of the show when they bring the girls up on the stage. And she kind of ruined it, for people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to talk bad or bash her, but I mean, she kind of did. You feel me? Because we didn't get a show. You feel me? And we paid money for a show and she didn't give it to us. So I can understand why some people would be upset in that aspect. You feel me? It's like, don't get up there knowing what you're supposed to do and what was expected and then don't deliver. And we came to see the show and you just ruined the show for us. So I can see people being upset with that. It's like you didn't get your money's worth. You feel me? Because of that. So my last little points, she should have never went up there if she wasn't willing to get with the program. I think maybe she thought she was bigger than the program because after she was like, I wanted Chris Brown. I wanted Chris Brown. Kind of being a little brat about it a little bit. Hey, you didn't get Chris Brown. You got Usher. You up on the stage now. Hey, make it happen. Okay? And also, like I said, ladies, if you're not willing to give it up after a date, don't go back to the place. And men, if you notice that the girl is uncomfortable in any kind of capacity, leave it alone. Send her on her way. Now, that's all I have about the concert. I did have a good time in spite of the heat. And I would go again if I had to, even in the heat. As long as that sun wasn't just shining, blaring. They did start pretty late. Because it was too hot to be sitting out there and y'all starting like an hour and a half late. I thought that was kind of, I didn't like that part. But at the end of the day, I'm still an Usher fan. I'm still a Chris Brown fan. I wish Chris Brown all the best when he goes to his courts. And I hope that things work out for him because he is a talent. And, I feel that he deserves a break. You feel me? That boy, we need to give that boy a break. You feel me? Give him his props because he's a great entertainer and he's very successful. And, people need to leave that boy alone, right? Now, Usher, I've been an Usher fan from day one. I remember when Usher first came out because me and Usher about the same age. Because I remember, I think he was like 13, 14 when he first came out, and I was around the same age too. So, I for real, like I deal with Usher for real. You feel me? I done bought many of his CDs, many of his records. I do enjoy Usher's music, and he is a great talent. And oh my gosh, that boy can sing. This was my first time seeing Usher live, and that boy can blow. He can blow. Hearing it live is just a whole different experience. So I had a great time. I'm glad I was able to go. I hope this girl, I hope it works out for her. I feel like she need to stop texting and tweeting and Instagram, and she need to stop because she's doing a bit too much. But at the end of the day, hey, we all grown. We make our own decisions, but every decision comes with a consequence. And hey, you just have to deal with it as it comes, right? So I do wish her all the best, and I congratulate Chris Brown and Usher on a job well done, as well as Tank and Mario. And I forget the other gentleman's name that performed. He like wrote a lot of songs that Usher and Chris Brown sang. He performed too, and he was good too. And the DJ Fresh, he was a good DJ. He was coming with all the hits. So overall, great time, and hopefully everybody will come out on the other side, feeling good about their decisions and the choices that they made. So that's all I have for today. I would like to thank everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.